Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Take a Knee with Mike and JD. I am JD,
And I'm Mike.
and today we're going to be going through week one of the NFL season. So, as of recording, we're on the eve of the start of the season with the Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. So, I'm pretty excited. It's almost like Christmas Eve, kind of, where, tomorrow's going to be the first day where we have football, every week until sometime in February.
It really is. Every season, like the off season seems so long, but this always feels like Christmas Eve, and like because your night games are my morning games. It really is like Christmas for me. I go to sleep tonight, and I get to wake up and open up all my presents, and my first present is the Bills versus the Rams. So it's very exciting.
Oh yeah. I unfortunately would have to wait through all of work tomorrow, so it's a little bit, of a longer day for me. But with that said, that's actually the first game that we're gonna be talking about. So as it stands right now, Buffalo is actually favorite on the road they're about a 2.5 point favorite right now. So the Rams will be obviously celebrating their Super Bowl win, and you would think that they would come out and play pretty good, so I do think it's funny that Buffalo's favorited. But, you obviously have Josh Allen, who's coming off of a really good season. So who do you think is going to win this game?
I've gone the Bills, but I'm thinking, a 1 point game, that kind of thing, because I think the Rams pick up where they left off. Like I don't think they have any kind of Super Bowl hangover or anything like that. Whether or not they can get there again, I don't know, but I think they come out of the gates. But I think the Bills at home, they'll just pinch it.
I think I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to say that since they're celebrating their Super Bowl, I think they're going to be ready and hyped to play. And celebrating. Watching other sports teams when they come out and they play that Thursday night game after winning the Super Bowl, I think they're really revving and ready to go. I mean, a lot of people may say that they're tired because, they played more games than some other teams, but I'm actually going to go with the Rams on this one. I think that they sort of cap off their Super Bowl win with a week one against the Bills. I do think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be, 35-17, Rams. I think it'll probably be somewhere like 27, 24, 24, 21, something like that. I think it'll be a field goal game.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, I think the Bills will just get them, and I'll give them the home field advantage there. But I completely agree with your reasoning there. Like, I mean, in just about every sport, be it NFL, NRL, AFL, or that is over here, you kind of your champions. They always come out of the gates because your last memory is that winning feeling and it's typically the middle of the season where if they do taper off, it's there. So I think either way, win or loss, the Rams will be very strong.
All right. And just before we go any further, if you're listening, please put your picks in the comments. You can pick all the games and keep track as you go along the season. So if you pick your games, you figure out your record from this week, you'll post it as your comment next week and then pick the remaining games. So I am interested to see how people in the comments do picking games. I know I'm going to keep a tracker to see who wins at the end of this year between me and Mike, who picked the games the best. But yeah, please play along in the comments.
Yeah. And week one is so hard to pick. Like it is.
It really is because you don't know.
Like
it's all paper right now. It's like, okay, well, we know these teams are comprised of this, but we haven't seen them play yet. So besides like a quarter of the preseason,
you add into that, the rust and kind of getting used to combinations because so few teams, play their starters in preseason. It's it's very tough to pick.
Yep. So we're going to move on then to the early games on Sunday. So the first game is the Saints at the Falcons. The Saints are favorited right now on the road at 5.5 points. So who do you have winning this?
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints. I think they'll get them. I can't. This is one of the ones where this feels like a dart throw to me. But because for some reason, I feel like maybe the Vikings might, have one of their few ones there. But no, I'm going the Saints.
Yeah, I'm also going to go to the Saints. I think, like we talked about before, Atlanta with having Marcus Mariota, I just don't know, how well they're going to do. And like I said, I mean, they do have the weapons. They got Drake London and Kyle Pitts and stuff like that. But even though they are the home team, I'm also going to pick New Orleans. I think it'll probably be New Orleans by a touchdown. So I think that they'll also cover, but just outright, I think New Orleans will win also. So the next game here is the San Francisco 49ers at the Chicago Bears. San Francisco is favored by a touchdown on the road. So who do you think's winning this one?
49ers easily. I'm sorry to say to all Bears fans out there. I mean, not real sorry, but yeah, I think the 49ers win and win fairly comfortably.
Yeah, I think it's also one of these ones where, as we talked about, it's up to Trey Lance on how well he plays. I mean, I just don't think Chicago's a very good team, but if they're able to sort of rattle the rookie who is his first season as the full-time starter, they might have a chance, but like I said, I don't know. Until Justin Fields really shows me more, I don't know how well he can play. So I'm going to go with San Francisco as well.
And I think they do have that, because I do think that is a concern, and I think the Bears defense could rattle Trey Lance, but they've got Garoppolo there, so if he does get rattled, they can just bring him in.
That's true.
Just set in the ship, so I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, that was the good things about them restructuring Garoppolo's contract, where you know what Garoppolo is. So if Trey Lance does suffer, you can at least turn to a generally reliable quarterback. So
absolutely.
So the next one is close to home. So this one is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are favored by 6.5 points right now. So who do you have winning?
I'm actually going to go the Steelers. I think they can get the upset here. I mean, I'm lower on the Bengals than some people are, so it could be that. But yeah, I'm tipping the upset.
Yeah, I also even not in a homer pick, but I think that the Steelers can go in and win. I think that they got embarrassed by Cincinnati 2 games last year, and I think that they want to really get that payback game. I know the Bengals did invest on their offensive line, but we haven't really seen them play a full game together yet. So, you have one of the best pass rushers in TJ Watt. They just got Miles Jack. They have Cameron Hayward, and now Minkah Fitzpatrick is freed up to just play safety instead of having to come down and play a linebacker since Devin Bush sucked it up last year. So I think that they'll be revving and ready to go. I think Mitch Trubisky will have a pretty good game, even though I think Cincinnati also has a pretty good offense. If Cincinnati does win, I think it's like by a field goal. I don't think it's going to be like 20 points like it was both games last year, but I'm also going to go with the Steelers. Okay, so the next game is the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, and I'm going to go the Dolphins. I think being at home, I don't think it'll be a blowout or anything. I think it'll be a relatively tight game, but I think the Dolphins at home, the addition of like Tyreek Hill there and that kind of thing. Well, they've actually got quite a few additions, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think they'll get it.
Even though Miami has been a house of horrors for New England over the last decade, where they seem to struggle in Miami, I'm going to go with New England. It's just that even though I think I trust Mac Jones more than Tua, even though I don't dislike Tua, I don't think he's really had the right opportunity. Now that he has these really good offensive weapons, you would hope that he could show more, and the fact that their line was also really bad last year and they went out and they signed a couple of big names. So, but I think as it stands right now, I'm going to go with New England with the upset on the road there. So our next game here is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Detroit Lions. And Philadelphia is favored by 4 points on the road.
Yep, I know I am favouring Philadelphia as well. I think overall the Lions will have a better season than
Yes.
recent ones, but I just I think the Eagles will be too strong.
I'm going to go with Detroit. I think that this might be a year when they sort of come out and actually win their first game. I think they will do better than last year. I think they have some pretty good pieces. Not to say that I think Philadelphia is bad, but just this gut feeling that I have. I think Detroit may pull an upset here by a one-score game. Again, it's going to be one of these close ones. I think whoever wins, it's going to be maybe like a field goal, but I have a feeling, and I'm going to go with my gut, that Detroit's going to win in that upset there. And our last 1 p.m. game on Sunday is the Baltimore Ravens versus the New York Jets. Baltimore is favored by 7 points on the road.
Yes, as they should be. The Jets are not going to win.
No.
So, yes, Ravens.
Unless, the Ravens have bad luck where all their players get injured in this one game in the first half. The Jets, Zach Wilson's hurt, so it's going to be Joe Flacco. I don't think it's going to be one of these scenarios where Joe Flacco outshines his old team.
No.
The Ravens are coming in healthy, so I think they might not blow out, like a semi-blowout. I think they'll win by 2 or 3 scores over the Jets. I think Lamar Jackson's going to come out and ball on the Jets. Okay, so our next 1 p.m. game is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are favored at home at 2.5 points.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Jaguars. Even though they're not the favourites, I'm going to go for the upset again here. I don't really have a solid reasoning why. This is one of those ones that's almost like a coin flip. So that's mine.
Yeah, my coin flip is the Commanders. I think this might be sort of the peak of their season where they come out and they win their first game, and I just don't really think Jacksonville is still a good team. Trevor Lawrence unfortunately wasn't developed well under Urban Meyer last year. He threw a ton of picks, but Washington has a pretty good defense. And I mean, Jacksonville has a pretty okay defense too as well, but I think that Carson Wentz might have like a really good game to show like, hey, I'm a good quarterback, and then he'll falter the rest of the year. So in my coin flip, it's gonna be Washington. So our next early game is the Cleveland Browns at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina is favorites by 1.5 points.
And that's where I'm going to stick as well. McCaffrey playing probably one of his few games that he plays this season. But like every game that he plays, he is going to dominate. So I think they lean heavily on him. I don't think they should. I think they should be lightening his load to try to kind of prolong his career. But I don't think they will. So I think that gets them home.
Yeah, I think this is one of these games where obviously it's a couple of these games where there's quarterbacks facing their old teams, and I think Baker Mayfield's going to come out and play with a chip on his shoulder. So even as the line stands right now at only 1.5 points, I think it will probably be a close game, but I think Baker's going to really try to come out and win. So I'm also going to take Carolina in that game. And like you said, with a healthy Christian McCaffrey, you would hope that he too balls out, and they at least this game, he at least plays well this game before he burns all of his fantasy owners again. So, and
he might be burning me this year,
right?
Not again,
not again,
not again.
And
my heart too many times.
No, and our last early game is the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Indy is favored by a touchdown on the road.
Should be 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, we're both gonna pick the Colts here. I don't see how they don't just dominate the Texans. I think it might be a bloodbath. I think this may be one of the games where it's a huge win, like week one, just an absolute thrashing. With now that they have an actual stable quarterback in Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor, and they have a really good defense. I think that they're just going to destroy Houston. So we're both going to go Indy on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you couldn't get more. Two teams that have had the Colts have kind of identified their areas of weakness and they've gone out and fixed it, where Houston, I don't know what they did. I guess they identified their areas of strength and got rid of those. Like, I just don't know what exactly they were thinking. So yeah, I think that will be reflected in the scores.
Yeah, so we're going to both put down Indianapolis here. So that's the end of our early games on Sunday. So now we have our 5 afternoon to night games. So our first afternoon game is the New York Giants at the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are favored by 5.5 points right now.
Yep, and I agree with that. I think I think the Titans are going to have a decent year. I never feel like the Giants are going to go that well, but I think the Titans will win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it'll be a comfortable win.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Tennessee. It just feels like one of those games that it's theirs to win. It's going to be not an easy win, but you have a healthy Derrick Henry. I think Tannehill wants to show that he's worth his contract, and the Giants just aren't very good right now. So I think that they'll win, and they'll win by more than 5.5 points. Our next game is your backyard. It's the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. Green Bay is favorited by 1.5 points right now.
So this is one where I really have to check, am I tipping this based on my bias? Logically, with the Vikings, but I mean, these are always close games, as the rivalry is. The Vikings being at home, kind of was swinging me that way. I'm tipping the Packers. I'm always going to tip the Packers, but I do actually think that it'll be a close game. But I think the Packers will get the win. I think it'll all come down to the first half. I think there's definitely going to be. I think the Packers defense will get the offense the ball enough, but I do think there'll be a few kind of 3-and-out series and that kind of thing while Rodgers and these receivers get on the same page. But I think they lean heavily on Dillon and Jones and Tonyan, and I just think ultimately they'll get the ball enough to kind of get the win here, even with those struggles.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota just for sort of the reason that you just said. I think this game might be a growing pain sort of game where it's actual league action with Rodgers and all of his new receivers and his young receivers. So I think Minnesota wins it here late, and I think this is something that the Packers can put on film and understand these growing pains, and Rodgers will probably come out and play a lot better the rest of the year. But I'm going to go with Minnesota on this one.
I do. It's definitely a coach's game. If the Packers win, it'll be because Matt LaFleur has coached a great game.
Right.
He's going to have to scheme up a lot of different looks to kind of get these young receivers in good positions.
Right. It's like how many plays can you trust that they know right now to where. Yeah. You can't just run the same route every time, but, how many do they know? You would hope that the receivers that they got studied the playbook where they can have a big play calling sheet, but, that might not be the case, and they may have to only run, the same few amount of plays, and that's up to, like you said, if Minnesota realizes that and they're able to put in the right coverage, they'll probably be able to shut down the Packers. But I think this is going to be a really good game to watch. I'm actually really excited to watch this game, like Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, it's a division rivalry game. Those are always usually pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our next game is one I'm also excited for. It is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Arizona Cardinals. The Chiefs are favored by 6.5 points on the road.
Yeah, and I'm going with the Chiefs as well. Definitely Chiefs are missing a few pieces there. With Hill gone and that kind of stuff. But I don't think they lose. I don't think they lose that much. I think like Smith-Schuster has landed in the perfect spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've always been a big fan of Juju, and whatever. I am not across Pittsburgh enough to fully understand what happened there, but after that first season, he lost his way there. But I think coming into an Andy Reid offense, with Mahomes throwing in the ball, he will kind of, as long as he can stay healthy, he will fill that role pretty well.
Yeah,
I think the Chiefs win.
I'm going to go Arizona. I think that this is going to be a high-flying game. I think that this might be like a 42-35 game where it's just going to be the offenses going out and playing well. When you look at Cliff Kingsbury at his coach record, his teams always start really well and then they lose like 5 of 6 to end the year, like when he was in college and now with Arizona and stuff like that. So he always seems to start well. So with them being at home, I think Kyler Murray plays pretty well. Like I said, it'll probably be a touchdown game, but I think it'll be a really high-flying offense to where Mahomes might throw for 350, 4 touchdowns, but they may lose still. So I'm gonna go Arizona on that one. Our final 4:30 game is it's just like the Washington Commanders. It's still hard for me to say Las Vegas Raiders, so I always want to just say Oakland Raiders. So
Yep.
The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 3 points at home.
Yep, and I have the Chargers, and I have them, winning pretty comfortably here. I mean, as we said in our video where we kind of reviewed the Raiders, I don't see a great deal of improvement there. Like I think, while not wanting to slide Adams, I think so much of what he does well is by having a super accurate quarterback, and I don't think Derek Carr is that. So I think while Adams, and I know they're bros and all that kind of stuff, and they got all that chemistry, I don't think that lifts them enough, especially not to overcome the Chargers, who have just added one Khalil Mack there because
for nothing really, just like a
exactly
mid-round pick. So yeah, I'm you look at that division and how they sort of all stacked up on edge rushers because all of the quarterbacks in that division are really good. So I agree with you. I'm also going to go with the Chargers. I think they're going to come out swinging. It's funny, the Chargers are only favored by 3. I think they win by a touchdown, maybe 2. But I feel confident that the Chargers are going to come out and play well. They just seem better than Las Vegas right now. That being said, like we said in the beginning, we haven't seen these full varsity teams play other varsity teams yet. But I'm going to, just like I said in our player pick for MVP, Justin Herbert, I think he's going to come out and start the season really well.
Yep.
The Sunday night football game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa is favored by 2.5 points on the road.
Yep, and I think this will be a close one, but I'm picking Tampa as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the home team. I think Dallas will come out and win. I think this will also be a really good game. When I saw that this was a Sunday night game to start the season, their Sunday night games is a lot of fun to stay up and watch. I can usually only catch the first half before I have to go to bed for work, but I like the idea of what does Tom Brady still have, because he's sort of retired. There are rumors about him going to Miami. Now he's back with Tampa Bay. He's, mid-40s now. I don't doubt that he can continue to play. I mean, last season he led the league in touchdown passes with over 40. He doesn't have Gronk anymore. Gronk is still retired. No more Antonio Brown and stuff like that. So I think Tampa Bay puts up good fight, but I think Dallas will learn from their mistakes in the playoffs and not run a QB draw with 15 seconds left and win this game. So, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. And then with that, we just have one more game left for Week 1, which is the Monday night game. Russell Wilson returns to Seattle as a member of the Broncos. Denver is favored by 6.5 points.
That is nowhere near enough.
No.
This will be a massacre. Denver were a good team that needed a good quarterback to go to the next level, and they got a great quarterback inexplicably from the team that they're going to destroy on Monday night.
Yeah, it's funny that he gets to start the season against his old team in that city, to where he almost can get comfortable at his home field with his new team. So he's not playing in a different stadium against a different team as a new team. He gets to go back to Seattle, play his first game on the Broncos there. He may also, he may feel like he's playing a home game. So that's probably a good feeling to have to start your new career with a different franchise. But yeah, I think Denver will win pretty easily here, probably by like two or three touchdowns. I mean, Geno Smith. I mean, he's not a very good quarterback, so
no,
I don't see Seattle really putting up a fight. So
not at all. And what I am interested, because in terms of, because I don't think it's going to be a tight contest, so I don't think that's so much going to be interesting. But I am interested to see how the Seattle crowd treats Russell Wilson, because he really. Probably more than any quarterback embraced that community.
He very did, yeah.
And on top of that, he left, as Russell Wilson seems to do everything, he you see some players leave teams and, they have a parting shot on the way out and that, but he, left, respectfully and reinforced how much he loves Seattle and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see, obviously, whenever a player comes back, that fan base kind of what, but I want to see, do they not do that as vigorously as you might with maybe some other departing players?
Yeah, it's it's really just going to be like I said, with him being at basically a home field, because he so much embraced the city, like you said. I think he'll feel comfortable and go out and play real well. So, luckily we didn't pick all of the same teams. 7 of the games we picked different teams, which is great. So I'm excited to see. Like I said, we're going to keep track. I have it all written down here. Who picks the games and who will be the winner at the end of the season with the best record. As I said, please put your picks in the comment section below and track yours throughout the season as well. It'd be really, like I said, really interesting to see how well the audience picks their games as well. So with that being said, thanks everybody for stopping by. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. Like I said, comment down below. We're pretty jazzed and ready for the season to start tomorrow. And I just kind of can't wait to watch football.
Me too. Bring it on.
So, again, thanks, everybody, and get ready for some football. Goodbye.
Bye.